Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live off the grid? It's a thought that might have crossed your mind, but what does it really mean? Well, let's break it down. The grid refers to the interconnected systems that deliver the services we often take for granted. Think about the water that flows when you turn on your tap, the electricity that lights up your home, the gas that fuels your stove, or the telecommunications that keep you connected to the world. These services, and more, make up the grid. Living off the grid, then, is about cutting the cord to these public utilities and becoming self-sustainable. It's about harnessing your own water, generating your own power, managing your waste, and even growing your own food. But the grid doesn't just provide convenience, it also comes with a price tag. Now you might ask, is living off the grid a costly affair? Is living off-grid a pocket drainer or a money saver? This question often pops up while considering an off-grid lifestyle. Let's break it down. At first glance, the initial costs of going off-grid might seem high. You need to think about purchasing land, setting up your home, and investing in infrastructure such as solar panels, wind turbines, or a water collection system. This is your initial investment, and yes, it can be substantial. However, let's flip the coin and consider the long-term savings. Imagine not having to pay monthly utility bills. No more water, electricity, or gas charges. The power of the sun, the wind, and the rain are your utilities now, and they're free. Moreover, adopting sustainable practices like growing your own food and composting can further reduce your living expenses, making the off-grid lifestyle not just viable, but also economical in the long run. Well, you might be thinking, why should I consider living off-grid? Why choose to live off-grid when you can have everything readily available, you may ask? Well, off-grid living offers a wealth of benefits that make it an appealing choice for many. First, there's the sustainability aspect. By living off-grid, you're making a conscious decision to reduce your impact on the environment. You're not dependent on fossil fuels. Instead, you're harnessing the power of renewable energy sources like the sun and wind. Your carbon footprint shrinks dramatically, and you contribute to a healthier planet. Then, there's the independence. No more power outages or water supply disruptions. You're in control of your resources. This self-reliance can be incredibly empowering, offering a sense of freedom that's hard to match. And let's not forget the connection with nature. Living off-grid often means immersing yourself in natural surroundings, fostering a deep appreciation and respect for the natural world. But then what do you need to live off-grid? What are the essentials you need to live off-grid successfully? Now that's the million-dollar question. And the answer is surprisingly simple. Food, water, shelter, and power. Let's take food first. Living off-grid means you'll be growing your own food. Imagine the satisfaction of biting into a juicy tomato that you've grown yourself, or cooking up a meal entirely from your own produce. It's not only healthier, but also incredibly rewarding. You'll be at the mercy of nature's cycles, but you'll also develop a deep understanding and appreciation for the seasons and the food they yield. And remember, composting is your friend. It will turn your food waste into nutrient-rich soil for your next crop. Next up, water. This is where things get a bit more technical. You could collect rainwater, which is a great option if you're in an area with abundant rainfall. But if you're not, you might need to dig a well. It's a bit of an investment up front, but it will provide you with a steady supply of water in the long run. Now let's talk about shelter. The beauty of off-grid living is that you can choose from a variety of structures to call home. You could live in a traditional house, a tiny home, a yurt, or even an RV. The choice is yours. Your shelter needs to be functional, comfortable, and most importantly, suited to the climate and environment where you're living. Finally, power. Solar power is your best bet for off-grid living. It's clean, renewable, and once you've set up your solar panels, it's free. You might need a backup generator for those cloudy days, but for the most part, you'll be harnessing the power of the sun to light your home, power your appliances, and even heat your water. Living off-grid can be a challenge, but with these 4 essentials, food, water, shelter, and power, you'll be well on your way to a sustainable, self-sufficient lifestyle. Now you might be curious, where can I live off the grid? Where can you plant your off-grid roots, you might wonder? Well, the beauty of off-grid living is that it can be possible just about anywhere, from the deep woods to the heart of a bustling city, so long as you have the essentials. Rural settings offer a bounty of nature and space for a self-sufficient lifestyle. You can cultivate your food, harness wind or solar power, and collect rainwater, all in harmony with the natural environment. Urban settings, on the other hand, might require a bit more creativity. Rooftop gardens, solar panels, and rainwater collection systems can all be integrated into a city dwelling, thus shrinking your carbon footprint. even amidst concrete and steel. But before you pack your bags, consider the local laws and climate. Some places restrict off-grid living or certain off-grid practices, and not all climates are suitable for every off-grid strategy. But will I be alone? Will I be bored? Well, let's dig into the social aspects of off-grid living next. What does off-grid living mean for your social life? Let's dispel a common myth right off the bat. Off-grid living doesn't necessarily mean you're signing up for a life of solitude. Quite the contrary. This lifestyle can open up a whole new world of community living and self-development opportunities. Imagine a community of like-minded individuals, all committed to a sustainable way of life, sharing resources, skills, and experiences. This is the reality of many off-grid communities around the world. These communities often foster a sense of camaraderie and mutual support that can be harder to come by in conventional neighborhoods. Off-grid living also offers ample opportunities for personal growth and self-discovery. It's a chance to connect with nature, learn new skills, and challenge yourself in ways you never have before. You may find that the time and space away from the hustle and bustle of mainstream society provides a unique environment for introspection and personal development. But let's not sugarcoat things. There can be challenges. Socializing might take a bit more effort when you're living off the grid. You won't have the convenience of popping over to your neighbor's house or meeting friends at the local cafe. And while the internet can help bridge some of these gaps, it's important to be proactive in maintaining your social connections. So, how do you overcome these challenges? It's all about balance. Regular visits to town, participation in local events, or hosting your own gatherings can help maintain your social ties. Making use of technology like video calls can also keep you connected with friends and family farther afield. Also, remember that solitude isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can offer a chance to recharge, reflect, and focus on what truly matters to you. It's all about finding the right balance that works for you. So, what else should you know before going off-grid? Before you pack your bags and go off-grid, here are some things to consider. Living off-grid is a big commitment. It's not just about leaving the hustle and bustle of urban life or reducing your carbon footprint. It's about embracing a new way of life that requires planning, preparation, and a whole new set of skills. Firstly, you'll need to learn the basics of self-sufficiency. This could mean anything from how to grow your own food to fixing a leaky pipe or installing a solar panel. You'll need to be resourceful and self-reliant, as the nearest help could be miles away. Secondly, you'll need to thoroughly understand the local laws and regulations where you plan to set up your off-grid home. Different regions have different rules about land use, water rights, and building codes. It's crucial to do your research to avoid any legal hiccups down the line. Thirdly, prepare for the unexpected. Living off the grid, you'll be more exposed to the elements and potentially more isolated. Think about emergency preparedness, from weather-related incidents to health emergencies. It's essential to have a plan in place for accessing help when needed. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, it's crucial to mentally prepare for this lifestyle change. The off-grid life can be incredibly rewarding, offering a sense of peace and connection with nature that's hard to find in the modern world, but it can also be challenging, and it's not for everyone. It requires patience, resilience, and a willingness to forego certain conveniences. Remember, going off-grid doesn't mean you're completely cut off from the world. You can still maintain your connections with family and friends, and thanks to modern technology, you can even work remotely if you choose to. Living off-grid is not just a lifestyle choice, it's a commitment to a more sustainable and independent life. So before you take the leap, take the time to consider if it's the right choice for you. Because the off-grid life, while challenging, can be a profoundly fulfilling journey.